This informational and educational video series contains 8 chapters that has to do with the state employees of California that they are in process of decertifying SEIU Local 1000 and want to replace them with their own employee association, CPPEA. Chapter 1 is about an ideal union or employee association. Chapter 2 is about what kind of organization is SEIU. Chapter 3 is about the options that we have. Chapter 4 is about what we have done so far. Chapter 5 talks about what we must do now. Chapter 6 is about what is decertification, and Chapter 7 about is when and how we are going to decertify SEIU Local 1000 and replace it with CPPEA. And Chapter 8 is about what kind of organization is CPPEA, California Professional Public Employees Association. After 4 effective and strong grassroots campaigning in order to reform SEIU, tonight we will be able to tell you and report to you and also give you the alternative of what we thought we should be doing and what should be done. In 2007, we started campaigning against the corruption of SEIU, and we thought we can reform the SEIU, but unfortunately, after trying everything that we possibly could do, from protesting and from participating in elections, going into arbitrations, and also legal actions, anything that we could do, we did, but SEIU is totally irresponsible, unaccountable, and corrupt. We could not do anything about it. And tonight, we are going to present to you 8 informational and educational video chapters, and in each one, we're going to be telling you about what we have seen, what we have done, and what should be done. In chapter 1 of 8 and 2 of 8, we told you what an ideal union is and what kind of a union is SEIU. And we noticed that SEIU is really not a union close to being an ideal. As a matter of fact, worst type of union that could be is most of the time our enemy than an organization that is supposed to work for us. In this section, in this chapter, chapter 3 of 8, we are going to tell you what are our options. And it's very simple. We have options that we can exercise, and we have exercised some of these options. Option 1 is that we do nothing. Absolutely nothing. We'd let SEIU mandatorily deduct these unreasonable and high dues from our salary and go waste, abuse, and defraud $63 million of our dollars every year. Option 2 is that we try to reform SEIU. And that is the thing that we tried since 2007. 4 years, we tried anything that possible in the book by policy file of SEIU and within framework of law that provided to us by DILS Act. But we found out under no circumstance SEIU is reformable, is not correctable. SEIU is too corrupt and is about our money and nothing else. So we tried to get the information about financial records of SEIU to find out what happens to our $63 million. We wrote letters, we wrote petitions, we went to arbitration, and we took legal action. We never could do that. SEIU did not have integrity, accountability, and transparency to provide that to us. If there is nothing to hide, why you don't provide it to us? We never were able to look at those books. We tried to get into the organization because SEIU said that this is an organization that is democratic and is by the members. Why you don't participate? These executive officers are elected officials of yours, and then try to blame everything on them. So we ran for the offices, statewide offices. We noticed that SEIU does not have integrity in their elections. Elections are handled by independent organization like Intraform, but SEIU has 100% control. And they cheat from the time that they send out the ballots, when they collect the ballots, when they count the ballots, and any step of the way. These elections were rigged and all the results fabricated. We could not do anything about it. Even at the end, we had 8 protests in one of the elections that we did statewide. Every single one of them were turned down because election committee of SEIU Local 1000 is handled by paid staff who are protecting their own interest. Election doesn't exist at SEIU. So we went to arbitration through non-germane objector and challenged the calculation or allocation and calculation of the fees of what SEIU does and how they charge us fair share fees or chargeable and non-chargeable expenses. We find absolutely everything is corrupt, rigged, and we don't have any option. We couldn't do anything. Means we legally ask for the information up front to go to the arbitration. They don't provide it to us. SEIU hides behind independent auditing that is paid by SEIU to do a very flimsy, topical, and very, very limited type of by sample auditing, which means nothing. It says SEIU made $63 million and spent $63 million. No details. And they didn't give us a detail. Then SEIU also hide behind the American Arbitration Association to set up the arbitration for the challengers and pay them. And they pay also to the arbitrator who is supposed to be independent, just, and impartial. They are 100% in control of every step, and there is no integrity in election, no integrity in arbitrations, and then at no way we can win. SEIU has a bunch of legal experts and attorneys that they are all fighting to protect the interest of this business entity, but nothing to do with us, and as a matter of fact, fighting and plotting and conspiring against the fee payers who stand up and ask a question and want to keep this organization accountable or criticize them. Very, very constructively criticize them. They don't like it and they don't let it happen. So the only option that we have, ladies and gentlemen, is to decertify SEIU, means getting rid of SEIU and replacing it with an employee association that is by us, for us, and service oriented, like CPPEA, California Professional Public Employees Association. Please watch the next chapter, chapter 4 of 8, and then we will be talking about what we have done so far. As a matter of fact, we talked about some of it and what we should do from here on. Thank you.